And we're back with Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, this time Season 2, Episode 7, penultimate episode. And for this episode, I've got a guest with me. Oh, you want to... I just want to... Yes, I want to just introduce him here. Look at the camera, Stink. No, you don't want to look at the camera? Okay. So, yes, he's not exactly going to be watching the show with me, but it's good to have him in here for at least one episode. So, yeah. So, what happened last time? The siege has officially begun on Eregion, and it's all going according to Sauron's plan. Adar is besieging the city, which means Eregion is probably going to fall, which Sauron would want. Then an army of elves is also on the way, and them and Adar are going to kill each other, and that is also what Sauron wants. So, and Galadriel is just locked up in Adar's camp with no way of stopping it. She's the only one who really knows what's going on, and she's got no way of stopping it. And she gave her ring, which may have been able to help her, to Elrond. Meanwhile, in the Dwarven realms, Disa and Durin are guarding the Mithril mines, so that the king can't just hold Middle-earth for ransom. Tom Bombadil has tasked the stranger, I'm going to call him Gandalf at this point, he's tasked Gandalf with finding his staff in a full sea of trees, and Nori and Poppy are getting ready, well, fighting talk from Poppy last episode about defending the stores because the Gaudrum or whatever they are, they're on their way. We've also got the stuff with Dark Wizard as well. Aronde, who's on his way to Eregion as well. And Celebrimbor is charging on with the Forging of the Rings, completely oblivious as to what's happening because Sauron placed a spell on him last episode. So it's going to be interesting to see how, and all the stuff in Numenor as well, Miriel survived the encounter with this sea creature. Is it the same worm from the premiere of the show? I don't know. But she survived that, and now she's been called Queen of the Seas, which I doubt Farazan is going to be happy about. But yeah, I don't want to waste any more time. I've got 2 episodes to do, and it's 8:15 in the evening, and I've got work at 7. I've got to leave for work at 7 o'clock tomorrow. So if I want to get a decent amount of sleep, I've got to get moving. So yeah, let's just get on with Season 2, Episode 7, penultimate episode of Rings of Power. Well, penultimate episode of Season 2 of Rings of Power. We're starting right now. Okay, so since Rings of Power is unfortunately a Patreon exclusive series, there will be no reaction this video. Instead, you'll be getting the after episode review. But for any of you who want a slight glimpse into what you're missing over on the Patreon, here's a few clips. Okay, what was that with him putting his hand? Right back into the reality.
We must do something. And that is why we're not going to obey. Gather your finest troops. I am taking command of our defences.
Oh, good. He's literally made himself their last hope. Bloody hell. And he's just completely oblivious to all of it. Okay, so back to the video. Oh my god! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. So many things happened in this episode. I have no way of there is no way of me being able to actually do all of it, review all of it. Like, that was insane. Like, okay, ranking this episode out of the way. If you think I'm going to put it above if you think I'm going to put it anywhere but at the top, you're an idiot. I'm sorry to call you that. But if you think I'm going to put this episode anywhere but the top, you're an idiot. Oh my god. There were so many things, and it was basically all the Eregion stuff, but now you've got Galadriel, Arondir, Elrond, Gil-galad, and Durin making their presence felt and all that. There was none of the Nori and Stranger stuff. There was none of the Numenor stuff. This episode was all about that battle. And what a hell of a battle it was. It was basically... The whole episode was the battle. And even the battle's still not finished. Like, that might be the longest... Well, I mean, I would say it's the longest battle scene I've ever seen, but... We were cutting away from the battle a few times. Like, we went like 3 days with the battle. And we lost quite a few characters in this episode. Like, we lost... well, not a few... Like, not all major characters, but... Medania, the elven smith, who was like by Celebrimbor's side since the first episode of this season. She was murdered in this episode by Sauron, but is it by Sauron or is it by Celebrimbor? Like, how... And it was a brutal one as well. She was just thrown over the wall and then just left for the orcs to just... Oh my god. Oh, what... It was all about the Nine. I mean, the Nine were finished, and then they were tried to... Then he tried to destroy them, and then... Yes, so he finished them, he tried to destroy them, but it didn't work, and... Nice little detail is when he put them in the fire and took them out, they weren't hot at all. Like, just like the original, just like the One Ring. The fire is not hot, so it's got to be evil. And an ingenious plan by Adar as well, even if it does sacrifice a few of his own people, is damming up the river so that your men can get across it. And that is what Gil-galad saw in his vision, is the just all dead fish in a and he saw rivers running dry. That's exactly what happened here. But I don't know how to review this episode because it felt like so much happened. And even then, the little notes that I took down, they don't really do much. They don't really do much to do justice to what we saw. Okay, the deja vu thing. Smart on Celebrimbor to like use the mark of like on the candles so that the candles haven't burned an inch. Recognise it, and the candles aren't burning. He's just in a time loop, and then the mouse just does the same thing every time. And it's how he realises that he's trapped in this vision. And then, oh my god, what a failure Celebrimbor must feel like. Like, he's Lord of Eregion. He's like charged with the protection of his people. And for days they were just under siege and he was completely oblivious to it. All the while he was sat in the forge just making rings. Whilst his kingdom was falling apart and his people were losing faith in him as well. Like, his second in command, Medania, she died thinking that he betrayed her. And then the nine rings, they were made with Sauron's blood. So there is absolutely no doubt that they're under his control. I mean, the seven are already under his control as well. But if there were ever any rings that are under his control, it's definitely the nine, and the one ring eventually. Oh, hello. Just Elrond stepped up as well, kind of, in this episode. He was in the fight for a long time. Galadriel almost didn't do any fighting. I don't think Galadriel really did any fighting whatsoever. I think she only killed one orc, and that was the orc she had to escape with. That was the one orc she had to kill to escape Adar's tent. And she wasn't even revealed until like halfway through the episode, with the little small ceasefire halfway through in Adar's tent, where you finally got an interaction between Adar and Elrond, and then I put Elreal as in the nice ship name for them, but that wasn't the point. That wasn't the point. Like, it was just to like get close enough to Galadriel to slip her the little pin so that she can escape. Yeah, this episode definitely upped the ante in terms of like fights, because the fight from last season, even though it was fucking amazing, it pales in compared to this. I'm so excited to watch people's reactions to this episode. And the dwarven stuff as well, like, amazing, but at the end heartbreaking. Because, oh my god, the speech that Prince Durin gave to Khazad-dûm, and like all the dwarves standing behind him, saying like he's like, we value loyalty more than we value anything else, and we're going to show all of Middle Earth that you can't break a dwarf's heart, a dwarf's loyalty. And then King Durin had to go and fuck it all up, but is that Sauron's doing? Because he's got control over that ring, and he's basically controlling King Durin now. And because of that, Prince Durin has to turn his army back. Surely he doesn't have to turn his whole army back just for one person. I mean, he is the king and he has got a bit of power, but surely not the whole army. But obviously Durin himself is not going to be there, and that is going to shatter the relationship between Elrond and Durin. Like, we only just got the reunion at the beginning of this episode, and Elrond asked him for help, and Durin was gonna give it until that point, because now Disa's in danger, which you have to understand that Durin's always going to go back for Disa. And as a result, the elves are left to themselves. So this is obviously going to be part of the reason why elves and dwarves are not friends anymore, because they've been hinting at that all season. They were setting us up for a fall, talking about the friendship between elves and dwarves and the symbols of their friendship, and now this happens. Sauron's even fucking things up he doesn't mean to fuck up. And, oh my god, Elrond as well with that catapult kill. It came after an incredibly heartbreaking moment where his horse died. But to kill that orc by strapping him onto the catapult and then flinging him up into the air to hit him again, blunt force trauma against the wall of Eregion. It would have backfired on him quite a bit if that. Imagine if that one catapult throw had managed to knock down the wall. Just imagine that. Like, oh shit, I killed an orc in an awesome way by accidentally knocked down the walls of Eregion. That would have been quite the backfire. But he didn't, and it was an awesome kill, an awesome moment. But like I said, the horse, heartbreaking. Another heartbreaking moment earlier in the episode when Celebrimbor realised what was happening. He came outside and you just saw the dog licking the hand of who I assume was its elven owner. That is incredibly tragic. Back with Celebrimbor again. The dude cut off his own thumb! As a smith, his hands mean so much to him. As an artist, his hands mean so much to him. He had to cut off his own thumb in a badass moment, and he managed to get the rings to Galadriel. And now Galadriel is in possession of the 9 rings, which only means a future victory for Sauron, because he's got to get hold of those 9 rings. And then just using his control over those elves to make them stab each other. Oh. He didn't kill Celebrimbor though. I mean, he's going to, because that speech from Celebrimbor to Galadriel, that was such a I'm gonna die goodbye speech. Oof. And so Galadriel's got the rings, Celebrimbor's with Sauron still, and Gil-galad, Arondir and Elrond are left outside of the walls of Eregion. The dwarves are entering Eregion. Adar's got the ring, Adar's got Nenya. The dwarves are entering the city. Elrond, Gil-galad and Arondir are outside. Arondir has been stabbed. I'm terrified that he's about to die. Because we've already established that a small wound from an orc weapon, can kill someone, even off screen. Gil-galad might die as well. He's putting in a good shift outside. Yeah. Like, this whole episode was a battle scene, and even then it's still not over. And not to mention, the episode ended on a bad note. It ended on a cliffhanger. I've got to watch the next episode tonight, even though it is 20 minutes to 10 o'clock, and the last episode is 1 hour and 13 minutes. I've got to watch the next episode tonight, so yeah, I've got to get to that. So I'm going to finish this off right now. Until this is all we've got for this episode of Rings of Power. Until next time, we are over and out. Bye!